Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HIT.OR.DIE podcast. Your host here, Jake Saldati. I'm going to try to get Chad, my partner in crime who's been away, doing his JUCO ball club at Fresno City. He's been playing. They have the playoffs this week. But just going to get him on and try to get his take on some of the stuff that we've talked about in recent episodes, some of the stuff that's going on currently. It's been a not kind of a shit show. I was going to say kind of a shit show, but it's been an absolute shit show. A lot in minor league baseball. You're seeing some of these rules being implemented. You guys know where I stand on all this stuff. Well, again, we've kind of beat it to death the last couple weeks, and I'm not sure. For the most part, the opinion seems to be shared. And on Twitter, we put out a poll. I think it's up for the next couple days on whether you care about the length of games enough to change the rules to what baseball is becoming. And it's, yes, speed the game up. And you have your right to your opinion, really. And the other, no, obviously, leave the game alone. And some people may not care either way. Now, those people that don't care either way, are they true hardcore? They don't have to be hardcore, but avid baseball fans. Because those that appreciate what goes on within the game, the strategy behind the game, and the reason they do pick or slow the tempo, whether they're controlling running game or whatever. You heard it, Alec Gamboa on the last episode talk about, getting crossed up or something with an infielder getting a sign from the shortstop, getting on the rubber, then getting the pitch and wanting to shake off, and then you're out of time. Like, I understand the idea behind pace of play. I don't care about it. Other people, there's some baseball fans that do think the pace of play needs to speed up. I haven't talked to very many of them. If less than 5 I could think of. Again, you all know my stance. I don't care. I don't care. And if you're bored, like most of the people that are bored by the game, they don't stay. They don't stay. They're not in it. I just don't get what the point is. I know that obviously it's based around dollars because most people can't. Everything I see, it's bashing what's going on. And again, we've got a poll out on Twitter about, do you care about the games being long enough to where we need to change the rules to what we're seeing in the minor leagues? To me, it's 100% no. There is a couple yeses in there, and again, you have your right to your opinion. So again, go to HIT.OR.DIE podcast on Twitter, at HIT.OR.DIE podcast, and then on Instagram we are at HIT.OR.DIE. And again, I'm going to get Chad on here. I just kind of want to throw some. You've seen a lot of videos popping up also of one knee catching, and we're seeing, with runners at third, pass ball, scoring runs. I don't understand where we're at. I don't understand the logic. I've had people try to explain it to me. If the catcher can't frame, and maybe that's where it starts, practice framing from a traditional stance. Work on your framing. I mean, if you're thinking being on one knee is going to make this pitch look better to an umpire, then I feel bad for that game, both teams, because that umpire is trash, right? But you're talking about that much. We should be able to do that regardless of being on a knee or not. And with a runner at third base, we're seeing it not work in the big leagues. Right? So in high school, you have not as talented pitchers, not as talented catchers, not as experienced umpires. I don't get what we're doing. I don't get it. And then obviously the take with Mad Bum getting tossed is a pretty good one. Dan Bellino ran him, and I believe it was the first inning, and I still haven't seen. I've seen a bunch of videos. I've actually posted a video on our Twitter and Instagram about it. I'm not quite sure what happened or the details of why he got tossed, but Bellino, when checking his hands for foreign substance in between innings, literally was just staring into Mad Bum's eyes. could not seem less, it seemed less interested in whatever could have been on his hand. But he must have said something that triggered the umpires or Bellino, and he got run while getting checked. And there's a bunch of videos. I'm sure everybody's seen it by now. But again, I want to go to Chad. I want to get his take on a lot of this stuff. It's just been one thing after another every single day. And it seems like there's no end in sight. For me, I think what's good about some of the pushback that is going on out there is how the Major League Players Association would bring all this stuff in is beyond me. I don't think it'll get to the big leagues. Hopefully, it doesn't get to the big leagues. We will see what does and doesn't. But, again, I want to get Chad's take on some of this stuff. I think you want to hear Chad's take on some of this stuff. So that's where we're going to go. Get Roth on the line, so hang on just a quick sec. Chad Rothford. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
It's been a while, man, since you've been on been recorded. I know you're not here face to face. You're getting ready to head to practice, but how's everything going? Real quick, before we. I know you got stuff to do, but how are you doing, buddy? How's the baby?
Good. Everybody's good.
I know we've talked outside of the podcast, and I know you've been itching to get back on here. You guys are making a run at the state playoff here, starting this week at Fresno City. But I know you've seen stuff because we've talked. Let's start with the umpire situation, the most recent, with Dan Bellino tossing Mad Bum. First off, I haven't even seen why he got run in the first place. Was he just mouthing off?
I mean, there were some close calls that the home plate umpire, didn't call. And then, Bumgarner made a gesture to the home plate umpire. And I think the first base umpire, wanted to make a point that you don't do that, which I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. They're big leaguers and, they can take care of themselves. I think he was a little excessive with staring that down or, whatever he was doing. I don't know. I think it was stupid. But
I mean, do you think the same – like these guys seem untouchable, the umpires?
Yes.
Like that was deliberate. I mean, you've seen the video.
He wanted a reaction. He wanted a reaction, 100%. And he even said, there's another video out there that you could, Bumgarner kind of like pulls away and says something. And right when he says something, the guy tosses it. And then Bumgarner turns to him and is like, F you, F you. And you can read the umpire's list saying, I didn't say a word. It's like, just because you didn't say a word doesn't mean you weren't trying to egg him on or get a reaction out of him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's the what is it? The umpire show is what is being called out there.
Yeah, the umpire show.
So and then I've posted. We've had a bunch of videos up on our social media. With the minor league rules, you had the pitch clock. You've had the balk turn into a fiasco. And this all AA, AAA, affiliated baseball. Like what when you see this stuff again. You haven't been able to come on here and vent, and just when you see it, like, what runs through your brain?
I don't know. Part of me is glad I'm not playing anymore, just to deal with all this BS and I listened to you talk to Gamboa, and just to have to worry about something other than baseball, like during the game, like I shouldn't have to worry about rushing to throw a pitch or worry about rushing to get in the box.
That's already hard enough.
We're all,
the game's already hard enough.
Yeah, and I mean, you take a bad, like that swing, that guy took a bad swing. He knows he took a bad swing. He got fooled on it. He didn't even step out of the box to recuperate. He was right back in the box. That's why I have no idea why he got called out on a strike. He never left the box, and you timed it. It was within 7 seconds where he was ready to go, and the guy, called him out. But the guy should be able to step out of the box, gather his thoughts, think about the situation that's going on, what pitch I just saw, what, guys like to think about what they're going to see next. And that's just baseball, and it's just, we're taking away a part of the baseball that makes it what it is. People don't go to the game to, because it's boring. They go to the game to have fun and see the atmosphere. And if it's boring, they leave. But guess what? They still paid for a ticket, and the organization made their money.
I was thinking about that too. That's a good point. Like, why? Where and when did the debate or the people out there with a problem with how long these games are? Where did it start? I can't remember. And I can't remember who it started with. Did it start with the league?
Think about why it started, when it started. I feel like when you don't have a commissioner that was a baseball player or understands the game, they're always trying to please somebody or whatever. But I just don't know who you're trying to please at this point. You have the actual players that bring in the revenue, not happy, and then you have most of the fans. If you're a true baseball fan, you're not happy with what's going on. You don't want to see these changes. If anything, a lot of fans want to see guys getting taken out at second base and want to see catchers getting taken out at home. That's the way the game was played and meant to be played. And that was one of those things when you got to professional baseball, it was like an extra incentive. Like, I get to take the guy out. I get to really break up a double play. I really get to try to score this run for my team by taking the catcher out. And not in a bad way. It was just part of baseball. And if he's blocking the plate, I'm going to take him, I'm going to go through him. Obviously, if he's not blocking the plate, I'm not going to go after him. But, that was just baseball, and that was a really fun part of it that, fortunately, when I was playing, it was still around.
How many times did you hear back then, not back then, it wasn't even that long ago, but even back, even in earlier days or over the years, they say, oh, yeah, and, you put in a good slide at second base, you break up a double play, and the announcer's saying, yeah, the guy did his job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a no-no now.
Yeah.
It's so crazy the mentality we've flipped on the game. And talking about well, go ahead.
No, I'd say, it really is, bad that things that we're so used to back in the day, it's a no-no or it's frowned upon. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy.
Like the unwritten rules. I think I saw one, was it might have been last week, of the Giants or somebody trying to break up a no-hitter in the 6th with a bunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? Why? The guy was getting booed. It was an Astros player. The Astros were getting no hit, and the hitter tried to drag bunt or push bunt for a hit.
Yeah.
And he got booed. You're supposed to stop competing?
Yeah, it's funny. I had this talk with a buddy of mine at work today. These are professional baseball players. They're getting paid millions and millions of dollars that are banking on their stats to make them money, right? So if you're paid to stop me from scoring and are just having a bad day and you're not stopping me, I'm hitting and I'm scoring runs and, whatever it is, why are we mad about that? I mean, you're paid to stop me from scoring runs, but you're not doing it. So just because an unwritten rule, and I get there are some unwritten rules that I believe, and that's just the baseball in me in the old school way of I believe that they're there for a reason. But like running up the score and stuff, like I never understood that because it's like your job is to catch the ball, throw the ball, get me out, and whatever. So why can't I pad my stats? Like when it's my time, when I'm in a slump, you don't throw me 4 balls because I'm in a slump, or you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think of this in a hitter's aspect of, how you play the game. And when I'm hot and I'm going, even though we're up by 10, I'm still going to get that pitch. I'm going to drive in a 3-0 count. That might be my best pitch because there might be times where I can't even see the ball or touch the ball. So I think those unwritten rules, it's tough.
You know,
I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say.
No, it made sense. I got it. I mean, no, I was thinking like there's been times where as coaches or as a coach, I've noticed, you know, you've been up in a game where, I mean, you don't like to say it's over, but it's late, you know, top of the 7th or top of the 9th, and you got a 10-11 run lead. I mean, I get that at that point, like, you know, we're not hitting and running. We're not probably stealing a bag. But, you know, there's a runner at second and a guy hits a base hit, I'm sending him. You know, there's things.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is, you know.
There's things that are acceptable, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to sit there and deliberately up 10, 11, 12, nothing, knowing, you know, we're a better team. You may have got some guys into the game just to get them to play, you know, and as the opposing coach, with the guy with the lead, I'm probably doing the same thing. I'm probably getting some guys off the bench to get them some innings, some at-bats. But in the 6th inning of an MLB baseball game, to try to get on and break up a no-hitter with a bunt, that does not warrant any boos or anybody getting pissed off about. I think that's ridiculous.
No, I mean, there's a third of the game left. You know, I mean, that's a lot of time for things to happen. And if you're playing the shift or you're doing something, you're giving that up, then, you know, it's part of the game. As much as you don't want to see it. I mean, I get in like the 8th or 9th maybe, but like the 6th, you're in the middle of the game. There's a lot that could happen. So I don't see anything wrong with it in the 6th inning.
You know, I was thinking too, you're talking about guys, these guys are paid, you know, on what they do. You know, what they perform. They perform. What do their numbers show? And I'm thinking about what could they get incentives and all that stuff. Like, what if they were paid by how much they won? How much do you win? How much does your team win?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you
I'm going to pay you per game based on your performance.
Like, instead of individual incentives, we as a team, the only incentive is you win this many games, you know, we do this or something. I don't know, man. It's hard because I know guys go up and down. You know, you don't always have the same roster. It just sucks because, you know, it is per, you know, these guys' numbers. And I guess as it should, that's the kind of business it is or become.
Yeah.
But you see guys getting paid an awful lot of money to be on bad teams. You know, Chris Davis got paid a lot of money to play in Baltimore, and they were terrible.
I get that.
No, the other thing we've been seeing too is, and I've seen it a handful, literally in like 2 days, is runner at third base, and we're back to, you know, this one knee stuff. And I got into not a debate, but a good conversation this morning about it with a friend of mine. And we've had pass ball scoring runs. We're down on one knee with a runner at third base. Like, I don't get the concepts. I haven't had it explained to me in a way that makes sense.
Well, you're not going to get it from me because I hate it. I absolutely hate it. You know, with nobody on, you know, whatever. When you have a runner on base, you should be in the best possible position to keep a ball in front of you, have the most mobility in your legs, agility to block balls. You know, if the ball's not at you, it's hard to block and move if you're on one knee. I would honestly, I know they say it's because of the low pitch, and we've had this conversation before, but I almost want to get pitchers' opinions. Like, would you rather have a guy up, ready to block with better mobility, or is he really benefiting you with the low pitch? You know?
I mean, with a runner on third, as a pitcher, I mean, I want the runner to stay on third base. I want my catcher in the most athletic position possible to do what he does, what his job is.
Yeah.
My job is to be around the zone as a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
And your job is to, when I'm not, keep it in front of you. You know, and so Max Fried in the Mets, he threw one that was the video. The announcer said it was unblockable, which I thought was just absurd comment to make. Was very blockable. In the position he was in, challenging to block, but not unblockable. And then, you know, I've seen people throwing technique with this. I wonder what it would be if you took 10 catchers and had them throw from a traditional stance to second base, and then the same 10 throw from one knee. I bet you the 10 traditional are going to be more consistent with a consistent number and accuracy. We're talking about a low pitch. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking, and I said it earlier, you're talking inches, okay? Big leaguers are having problems with it. Like, so why would we incorporate it in high school where the pitchers aren't as good, the catchers aren't as good, and the umpires aren't as good? I mean, you're seeing balls called strikes that are way off in the big leagues.
Yeah. No, and you know, it's sad. I mean, even at the junior college level, I had a college coach, a Division I coach, hit me up the other day and asked me about catchers. And I just I said, I haven't seen one. I haven't seen a good catcher, at least not in our league. I'm trying to think of teams we faced that I would legitimately say a great catch and throw guy, great block, you know. But I was actually watching video on Lassen, which is the team we're going to play this weekend. Their catcher actually looks really good. I'm actually excited to see him in person. You know, because I was a catcher till I got to junior college. I couldn't, with my elbow, I couldn't, you know, catch past high school. But, you know, I was always a catcher at heart, and I love the position. But it's just, there's so many pass balls these days. It's just like, and I think where it starts is when there's nobody on base during warm-ups, they don't care. They don't care about blocking the ball when nobody's on base because there's no runner to go anywhere. But I was always taught is it doesn't matter if there's anybody on base. You block the ball. That's your job. Because if you get lazy doing it with nobody on base, you're going to be lazy with somebody on base. And, you know, I feel like that's just the big reason. There's just a lot of laziness to
and you never know who's watching.
No, and that's another thing. You don't know who's in the stands. You know, a lot of guys say, I already know your catcher's name. I got to know him. We came back to the backstop, 15 times this game. You don't want a scout to say that to you.
No.
I already know who he is. You know what I mean? So it's like,
no, it's funny.
Do everything you can to do your job.
Yeah, and they're not all behind home plate. And maybe they are for a minute. But, I was at a game, and I was in a spot where I was, not close to home plate. It's about as far away you can be. It was at Fresno State. And I was sitting 3 rows above 2 scouts. And they were not near home plate. Maybe they were to start the game, but by the time I got there, where I was at, they weren't. You don't know who's watching. We've said that a million times. Whether you're an infielder, outfielder, how you prepare, they notice that stuff. They notice the lay. To see runs being scored on pass balls because we're on one knee. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't the reason to do it to me doesn't justify the risk of giving up a run.
100%.
The other take that I wanted to get from you is last week, had Labby. I was going to do some offensive number stuff, and the numbers. You've seen them. Just because Chad has not been sitting in here the last few weeks doesn't mean he's not paying attention or we don't talk every day. You know the numbers. You've seen the numbers. I'm not sure if you heard Labby and I talk about it, but I just on all this stuff, I just wanted your take. I wanted the people to hear your take. Like, where are you in this response to the numbers? And I know you had a response to people saying, "Oh, well, just the pitching's better," because that's always the excuse.
Yeah, and do pitchers throw harder? That's debatable too. I've heard the guns are juice. I watched that Tennessee guy throw 105. It didn't look 105.
And it was, it's funny about that, I think all the numbers, all the radars I've seen on that guy, and listen, he's throwing cheddar regardless.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say it was juiced or not, but, like, you only see it posted from Tennessee home games.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I
think. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to throw that out there. It doesn't look 105. Like, I feel like 105, I mean, those guys are still hitting it, like getting a piece of it. 105 is pretty dang. I mean, I've faced 100. I might have even faced 101, but I mean, it is ridiculous. The amount of time you have to react to that.
Well, it's funny because, like, even like a good mid-90s fastball is like,
yeah.
I mean,
they say a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, you have 0.4 So, anything harder, it's just less and less. So, I don't know. I think the guns are juiced a little bit. But I do think guys are throwing harder. Don't get me wrong. I do. But then again, I look back at junior college and I'm just like, the guys we faced when I was there threw harder than the guys that are in junior college now. So that's why I'm trying to wrap my head around, do they really throw harder, or is it at certain levels they throw harder? Because at the junior college level, we rarely face a guy that's throwing 90 miles an hour. When I was in junior college, every freaking game we played, it seemed like a guy was throwing at least upper eights to low nines. And then we had a couple guys. I mean, Omar Aguilar from Merced we talked about 100. He was freaking 98 to 100 miles an hour in our playoff game against them my freshman year. So, Sac City their Friday night guy was 95 to 97. Their closer was 95 to 98. Their Saturday guy was 94 to 96. So that's why it's hard for me to justify people saying these guys throw harder, because I haven't seen it in junior college. I haven't seen a guy throwing 90 to 93 consistently. I mean, we have a guy, Galvan, that's done it, I want to say, a handful of times he's been consistently there, but for the most part, he sits in the upper eights.
And you're not facing a lot of guys that do as well. I mean, maybe from out of the area, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I think Sac City might have had a guy or two that were in the low nines. Merced, I think, had a guy that was in the low nines. Their closer, I think one of their starters, maybe, but that's it, That's why I do think the guns are juiced a little bit. I know the movement, the guys are throwing with more movement, but I also think the balls are slicker. So I don't know if that has to do with anything. And I'm not saying it's easy to hit in the big leagues or whatnot, but, when the strike zone is, 12 inches by 12 or 17, whatever the plate is, 17 inches by 17 inches. I mean, guys are supposed to be in the big league level hitting, and they're not. And I just think that they don't care when they get two strikes. They have a one set approach of how they're going to hit the ball and what they're trying to do, and they don't care about battling with two strikes or putting the ball in play, taking a single. I just think that this whole shift in exit velo and launch angle is just destroying the game of baseball, because the best launch angles and the hardest hit balls are not fly balls. So what are we really teaching? If we want exit velo, then we need hard ground balls to line drives.
Yeah.
If we want launch angle, a good launch angle is anywhere between 20 to 25. That's going to be a gap shot, that if you hit it hard enough, it's going to go out. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Everybody's trying to make a buck.
That's true. I mean, that's a big part of it too. I don't know when the shift happened. I don't know when the shift, and I mean the shift in the way the game's played and how they use bullpens, and I don't know. I was so caught up in what, our program at the time I was coaching with, and like it's kind of like I missed it. And so now that I've taken a step back to watch it, I can't remember when it or where it started. Where did the idea of the launch angle and where did the exit velo become when did this stuff become so important? And what makes it important? I've seen guys swing it.
I love too what Labby said. Labby saying, we're in a time of technology, right? And all these players have the most information to understand hitting and what pitchers are trying to do, and we still can't hit. We still can't hit. You almost go to the plate knowing what that pitcher is going to throw you in every single count and where he likes to pitch things, and we still can't hit. I don't know how to explain that. I don't understand.
Pitching's better.
What? I don't know. I think it's the swing. If you don't have the consistent swing or the right approach, you're not going to be a consistent baseball player or hitter. I don't know. It's frustrating to watch. Luckily, I'm at a level that, kids are still wanting to learn and get better and buy into a program and an approach and stuff. So,
well, you can't at the younger age, right? At junior or high school and JUCO, like you can't hit 231.
No.
And expect to get to the big leagues. In minor league, in minor league
we always
baseball,
talk about percentages. When we talk about percentages of home runs, how many high school guys have 10+ homers?
I have no clue.
I think only 3 last year. I think Hirschhorn had one at Carruthers. I think Tobias had one at Liberty, and Tanner Sagusky. So I mean,
out of how many schools in the section?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are we trying to be home run hitters when we aren't home run hitters?
Well, also those guys, but again, those guys hit for average. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just hit bombs and hit 230, and the higher you go, like, you can't strike out 35% of your time. I
think we're going to get back into that too, where, striking out, it's bad.
Yeah, because the game's going to be non-existent soon. Like, nobody's going to watch at the pace it's going. Like, Gamboa's talking about using 3 different balls. Well, they're going to keep the one in there that I don't know if it's going to be the one that benefits both the pitching and the hitting a little bit.
Yeah.
How many average fans want to see a 1-run game? A low-scoring game. You know what I mean? 3-2, 4-2, 3-1, 2-1. They put the emphasis on the long ball, and that's why you see all the launch angle stuff. And that's not why, but they want to generate more offense. Home runs are exciting. That's people they cheer more for a home run or a base hit.
Yeah, but if you hit 1 home run and strike out 15 times, there's 27 outs in a 9-inning game. You're taking away over a third of the game.
Yeah.
Almost half the game isn't even being contested by the hitter. Or would you rather see like 10 singles, 5 in a row, working counts, doing jobs, moving guys over?
Well, let me ask you this. When you watch a game, all right, and a walk-off, does the crowd cheer any louder? And maybe they do, but not much, right? If a walk-off win is a base hit or a sac fly, the crowd's cheering because of what? They won.
They won.
So whether it's a walk-off home run, a walk-off base hit, a walk-off sac fly, a pass ball, we've seen these things already.
Yeah.
The crowd goes nuts because your team won.
Yeah.
So just go win. Whatever it takes to win. Whatever it takes to get on base. I think you're right. I think we'll get back there. I think it's slowly shifting. You're seeing more people talk about just doing away with some of that mentality, and some organizations are doing that. But I don't know. I don't know how soon we'll get there. But it's looking like
it's a process.
Yeah, for sure. Like, just, this didn't happen overnight, what we're in right now. It seems like it, but it's been going on, and it's slowly progressed all the way up to the big league level. And it's been here to stay the last few years. I don't think it's here to stay forever. I hope not.
No. I hope not. It's hard to watch, man. It's hard to love something so much, but hate to watch it.
Yeah, it has its moments, for sure, absolutely. And the college game seems to have grown a lot this year, which is great. I'm all for it. I love it. I wish there was still some more on TV, but even that's better than it's been in years past. And it's not all been bad. I don't know if you saw, I think it was yesterday or the day before, Aaron Judge hits a home run in Toronto, and the fan gifted a ball to the kid.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
You know how, that's the kind of shit, you see how viral that went?
Yeah.
That's the stuff, man. That people want that. We've had nothing but negative things. I'm not negative, but I've been a downer because of some of the stuff I've seen. Some of the rule changes to speed up play. Again, I don't mind. Listen, I'm not totally opposed to even having the pitch clock. I get it. But this is not.
You gotta be realistic, though.
Yeah, this doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The Bach thing's stupid. Right? But we saw the other night with that, that fan, that, dad or whatever, giving that kid the ball that was great, man.
That was a random fan.
It was, and it kind of
he hugged him like it was,
and the players, we've seen, it's been nice around here, Fresno area, to see, Taylor Ward going off with the Angels, to see Jordan Luplow going off with Arizona, to see Judge getting hot in New York. It's been nice to see this stuff. You're seeing guys still in AAA competing, and Connor Brogdon and Dylan Lee, and you're seeing guys still getting after. See Gamboa in AA. It's fun to see local guys doing well, but to see a moment like that and people gravitate to that was great. And I wish we'd see more of that stuff. I know we've been pushing some of the bad stuff that we've seen, and it's hard not to, because not everybody stays in tune with what's going on. Not everybody's blown away at how many people asking questions about some of the videos we posted that are baseball people that didn't know or don't understand, that had questions. It's out there. Yeah, so just to see a moment like that was pretty cool. You just genuine. Nobody knew it was on camera. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't fake. And the players are doing, the player, I feel bad for the players. They're working within the constraints of the game that the people that run it want. It's almost like I wish we'd go back to let the kids play. Let the best players in the world play. You heading out to the ballpark?
No, we're good.
You're good? No, I'm just saying. I almost want to go back to that. I thought that was kind of getting borderline ridiculous. Of, geez, all the and I don't love the bat flipping stuff, but I'm just saying let these guys go do what they do with some of the rules. You know what I'm saying? Let.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the showboating stuff. I'm not saying all the showboating stuff. All the bat flipping the bat back to the mound. Come on. Who's doing that? And to see that in JUCO or high school, come on.
Well, that's the other thing we were talking about. What, Batella, Tennessee?
Oh, Vitello, yeah.
The Tennessee coach getting all fucking. Oh, excuse my language.
You can say it. You've been here before. You can say it.
Getting all mad about Auburn bat flipping. It's like, you are the showiest of showest colleges in the country, which is fine because you know
they've backed it up.
I guess.
Yeah, their record shows that
But you can't get mad when somebody does it to you. Like, you
got to be able to take it.
Yes, like, and that's what I love. It was Tim Hudson, man. He's one of the coaches at Auburn, all up across the diamond, getting on him and stuff. It's like, man, if you're gonna dish it, you have to take it, and that's the truth. I mean,
do you think that like?
Sorry.
Well, yeah, because when it's going good, it's easy. All this shit is easy. To act tough is easy. And they got punched in the mouth last year. I think it was Stetson. He had that bat flip, and that kid hit a walk-off to win the game. But they were about to get beat when they weren't supposed to, quote unquote. Yeah, if you're gonna dish it, you got to take it. You can't go cry foul every damn time. It's funny. It seems like we see them arguing about something every weekend. Do you think? But yes, I was going to ask you. Do you think down the stretch is that going to be a problem? It seems like that kind of stuff gets to them a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll listen to this podcast and think, we got to toughen up a little bit. We're good.
Shot.
We're really staying good, But
well, you got to embrace it. Like it's City back in the day. The stories that I hear about how you guys were, like if somebody punched you in the teeth, did you not embrace it so much, but like, oh shit, okay. You kind of have to wear it. It hurts your pride a little bit. But you don't cry about it. You can't cry foul.
No. When somebody punches us in the face, we act like they flicked us because that's how it felt. Because nobody was punching us in the face and getting away with it.
Well, you took offense on the field.
Yeah.
You didn't go cry and pout about, oh, look what really showing us up.
No,
like you said, that's the showiest ball club out there. As far as what I've seen, which is it is what it is. Like that's what they do. Like, love it or hate it. I'm just saying that's what, if you're gonna do it, you can't get mad when other people do it. That's where I'm at. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying do it or don't do it. I'm just telling you that, and like you said, you got to be able to wear it.
Yeah, and I think even at our level, I think the umpires pay too much attention to the dugouts and what guys are saying, and I mean, go play Division I baseball in Arkansas on a Friday night, or at Baylor on a Friday night, or TCU. TCU wasn't that bad, Christian college, but I mean, go play at Texas on a Friday night. Go play at all those schools on a Friday night. I was at Texas Tech when my brother was at Mizzou, sitting behind the home plate listening to what they had to say to the players. If you think, saying bye you or, like you suck or you're terrible
it was more personal.
I mean,
it was more personal.
Oh my gosh! Even Coach Selma was like saying stuff when Quentin was at Cal going places. They were saying stuff about his sister and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think he mentioned that too. Yeah, I think Quentin mentioned.
I mean, stuff got so personal. Or I've never really told my story, but I was at Arkansas and I'm a bigger guy. I wasn't heavy or anything. I was still athletic looking in college, but I mean, Arkansas Friday night of the regionals, I got out of 12,000 fans, 10,000 of them might have been yelling cheeseburger while I'm playing. Go play when you got 10,000 fans yelling cheeseburger while you're at the plate. You know what I mean? You got to wear it, and you got to back it up with your game.
Yeah, you got to take it personal.
I did that.
Take it on the field.
Dude, there's so much worse things that get said to you at the next level. Or talk about professional with guys, the way they talk at the professional games and other fans treat you. And, you know, it's just, you got to be tough. You got to be thick-skinned. You got to be able to move on. You got to be able to laugh about it. Honestly, you almost got to be like, that was a good one. That was good. Like, I'll give you that. I mean, one of my teammates, Owen Roberts, actually had to get a new phone number. He had 132 missed calls after a game at Baylor because they got his number somehow. You know, it's just, that's what you deal with, because that's what sports fans that are diehard sports fans of their teams do. They want to make you as uncomfortable as possible so you're out of your game.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, that's the advantage of being at home. You know, that's why you work so hard to get the home games in the playoffs, to utilize your crowd, your facility. You know, you know how to play in your ballpark. Yeah, no, I love that. Again, I agree. You just got to be able to wear it. Ultimately, you know, to see Tennessee get mad all the time about this stuff, just wear it. Just wear it. That's all. Roth, I got to wrap it up, but I know we're going to see you back in here soon. Fresno City's got the playoffs this weekend, hosting, who is it again? Lassen. Okay, and you guys play Friday night or Friday at 3:30?
No, Friday at 3, and then Saturday game 1 is at 11, and if we split 1 and 2, we play game 3 right after game 2.
Okay,
so hopefully we don't split and we take the first 2.
Take care of business.
We either go to Delta in Stockton, or if Sierra out of Oakland, actually, Sierra, if they actually upset Delta, then Sierra will come to our place.
No, so you guys could
have. So we're hoping for an upset.
Potentially back-to-back series at home.
If there's an upset at Delta.
Okay.
But Delta's the 2 seed, and I think we'll head there after we beat Lassen this weekend, hopefully.
Well, that's the plan. Well, good luck to you guys, man. I know it's crazy how fast the season's been going by, but
yeah.
Do you feel?
It honestly seems like we just started. But
well, good luck, man. Go have a good practice. I will talk to you later. And everybody, I know everybody misses Roth. We got some of your opinion, but again, we'll have you back in here soon, brother. And yeah, have a workout. We'll talk later. All right.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
So my boy Roth on his way to practice again. Fresno City College going to be taking on Lassen this week in the JUCO state playoff tournament in Fresno. So if you can get out to the ballpark, go ahead and check those guys out. And I think in playoff baseball, COS dropped their game yesterday to Marin 4-1. So their season is done. And so it looks like City's the last man standing here in the conference for the state playoffs for JUCO baseball. So good luck to the Rams, Coach Scott and that staff, all those players. And, before I wrap it up here, too, I just always thank our audience and everybody listening. Again, go download the show on iTunes, Spotify, stream it there. Get it on Spreaker. Please go follow on Twitter at HIT.OR.DIE Podcast and on Instagram at HIT.OR.DIE. And definitely head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe there if you watch on YouTube. If not, go over there and subscribe anyways. I'd appreciate it. But I wanted to say congrats to Coach Batesel. They had a Coach Batesel Day on Sunday over the weekend. And unfortunately, I couldn't get out there. We had a family planned that day. Did go Saturday. Was a great crowd Saturday hosting San Diego State. And then Sunday was the honoring Coach Batesel. And it looked like a fantastic turnout. Saw a lot of alumni. And honestly, again, we talked about last week, Miguel Cabrera and his contribution to baseball over his 20-year career, and just being able to watch a guy like that play at that level for that long. You tip your cap. And thinking about Fresno State, same goes to Coach Batesel, whether people out there love him or hate him or what. I guess that doesn't matter. Like, you tip your cap to somebody that's committed a long portion of his life and time to one university, to one program, has had a tremendous amount of success, and has recruited the Valley, represented our Valley, and is truly just an awesome person, baseball person to talk to. You say thank you. You say thank you, because I don't know how many people realize how blessed this community is baseball-wise in the Fresno area, Central Valley. Fresno State, I don't know how many years, has had 3 coaches. Decades. And you can say the same for Fresno City. How many schools, colleges in certain communities can say that? 5 coaches in a matter of 50, 60 years, if not longer? I'm not even sure the exact amount. We're very fortunate. And we've been very fortunate to have 2 very, very strong programs in that time. And so, Coach Bates, just thank you. Thank you for all your hard work, your sacrifice, because it's not easy. People think it's easy. And like he'll tell you, you go get a team and let's go. If you know what I mean? If you're that much better, go get yourself a team and let's square off and see how well you do. He's an awesome, fantastic coach. Love his staff right now. And, if you get a chance to get out there, they're getting to the end of the season, go watch some games. Go tip your cap. Those players come out after every game to greet the fans. Be a part of the Bulldog baseball community. Again, like I said, we're lucky to have the tradition we have in this area as far as baseball goes. And it was just cool to see how many people showed up to honor Coach Batesel. And congrats and thank you, Coach. And with that, we'll wrap up another episode of Hit.OR.DIE podcast. Again, some more guests coming the next week or so. Stick with me. Appreciate everybody that follows, subscribes, and downloads the show. That's another episode of the Hit.OR.DIE podcast.